and I met Americans for the first time in my life. He was exactly saying what I learned in Korea, like big nose, like white tall. When I learned about United States in North Korea, so there was even game that like kill Americans, and I was so passionate about that game. But not now. Hello, my name is Il-Lyong Ju. I was born in North Korea, and in 2008 I escaped to South Korea. Now I am head of NGO called TIMJ. Yeah, now we live all together, but when I defect, actually we defected separately. My father came first, and me, one of my sisters, actually I have two sisters, so one of my sister and I and my mother escaped in 2008, and my older sister escaped a few years later. It was highly dangerous when the family moving all together. There is a high risk that if we get caught, we all dying at the same time. So to avoid that, my father came first, and then separately we could come to avoid their surveillance.
Your grandfather went to a North Korean political prison camp.
Yes. Actually, my grandfather was a war veteran. In Korean War, he was a general. He graduated Kim Il-Sung University, and he was very elite class. But after war, in his conversation with his only friend, he was talking about the human rights issue about Ju ideology, which is a North Korean ruling ideology. But my grandfather's friend, he talked it to secret police. That's why he get caught and sent to political prison camp. He was actually very strong communist, but he was pursuing justice. But the Ju ideology, grandfather defined it as a slavery ideology. So it was a problem in North Korea. So he sent to political prison camp, but he was a war veteran and he was hero, so he released after 9 years, I think. Yeah, he was very lucky. It was Yodok political prison camp, which is very notorious one. It's impossible to get out from there.
Did it affect your family in any way?
Oh yeah, sure. Because of that, there is a 성분 system, which is like family background is very important in North Korea. First of all, my father was very he was genius in North Korea. He was very passionate and smart, and he was high ranked in his class, but he couldn't go join the North Korean Workers' Party. He couldn't do that. Even though he was genius, he was just treated as a betrayer's kid. Son. So my whole family exiled to countryside, very small farm. But end of the day, because of that, we could survive during the Great Famine, because we could in farm we can just do ourselves. But because of that, I couldn't dream any my future. But I just had to worry about what am I eating now, what am I eating tomorrow. That was my only concern. So yeah, they took every chance of our family. So highly affected.
Did you ever worry about starving if you stayed in North Korea?
Oh, of course. Luckily, we had a goat. I was a shepherd. So because of the goat milk was our nutrition provider. But between winter to summer, there was a hunger season. We just had to eat something wild herbs, and yeah, they was very hungry. There was a program called Advocacy Fellows Program. We get trained in United States, and during 90 days, we were traveling all the United States from West Coast to East Coast. When we had a chance to speak in front of the university, company, high school, everywhere. In South Korea, North Korean human rights issue treated as a political issue. So depends on the government, their attitude is changing, and so people is very tired. But in United States, when I am talking about my story and their situation, everyone was so passionate and they were so cared about that issue, and their eyes was shining, very shocked to me. I've been to very famous universities like UCLA, UC Berkeley, Columbia, and I also went to high school Scarsdale in New York. I've been to Google, YouTube, like Salesforce, like big Toyota, like big companies in the United States. And those memories all together impressive to me because they are so elite class, right? And they were caring about human rights issue. They were caring about me. So yeah, so touched and motivated.
You must have seen Americans for the first time in your life. How was it different from what you were educated back in Korea, North Korea?
It's really good question. When I learned about United States in North Korea, we learned that Americans is our primary enemies. So there was even game that like kill Americans, and I was so passionate about that game. But not now. But at the time, like I was like very like passionate and like always I won. But when I came to China on my journey to South Korea on my defecting journey, actually I've met one white guy. He was a pastor and he was there in China. He met me and I met Americans for the first time in my life. At the first time, he was exactly same what I learned in Korea, like big nose, like white, tall. It was all same. So I was so like kind of scary with them. But when he speak, everything just like collapsed and like I accepted him as a one of the good person. Because of that memory, when I went to United States, everyone was so nice and they're so generous. They have a good manner. For example, when I go to the door, they were holding the door for me. And when we made eye contact on the escalator, they would say, "Oh, hello." They were so kind. But one thing I surprised was that I was thinking that in America, I thought that there was only white and black will live. But when I actually get there, he and she, they will exactly look like Korean, but they said they introduced themselves as a United States, like American. So I was surprised that you are Korean, and they said, "No, I'm American." And like that kind of shock for me because America is a like immigrant country, right? So that was my first time to like changing my stereotype.
Were there any cultural custom you found quite weird or shocking?
There was a good one and bad one. So like, well, actually bad one is a good one too, but yeah. One thing is that people is very kind and open. They have an interest to other people. So like they are caring people. It was quite different compared to Korea. In Korea, actually, we have a jong, which is like very in-heart, like friendly thing, but they are not expressed out. But in United States, they're like everyone is smiling at me and like doing a small talk, and that makes me a little bit happier. Because of that, made me feel comfortable and receive United States as a kind country. But the other thing that I surprised was that New York is a very world famous city, but it was very dirty and like in subway there's like smell, like I really disappointed actually. As time goes by, I understood that as it should need to be changed, but itself, it's a history. So like I received it as a good view, but for the first time when I get into New York City, a little bit shocked and disappointed, yeah. Still world famous city, yeah.
Well, what did you think about how the people dress over there?
Oh yeah, even the pastors, they were wearing like jeans. It was very free, like I was thinking that is a liberty, in like North Korea, they're like kind of rule that need to be well dressed and like suit and like thing. In America, they were so free. Like even in company, they were like short pants and just t-shirts, and even chief CEO, they're wearing just like t-shirts and like sitting like this, and like yeah, that looks very comfortable and free. So I learned from them. Yeah.
In your public speeches, did you find any of your audience crying in your stories?
Of course, when I give a speech in front of them, I don't know, maybe like almost half of them were crying. They were actually hearing my story, so yeah. the reality in North Korea. For example, I still remember the one young girl, maybe she was like 9 to 10 age, on the marketplace. I was sitting next to her and I was watching that. She was actually a beggar. Right next to her, one woman was eating noodles and she was actually begging her that don't split the soup and just can I drink that one. But the woman just split it on the street and that young girl jumped on the ground and just picking a piece of noodles on the ground and she was eating that. When I saw her, it was very, I don't know, I felt very various feelings at the time, but still have an image of her. And I shared this kind of reality to them. Those kind of realities might affect them to cry.
Did that experience motivate you to continue to work for human rights?
Yes, of course, because sometimes I am actually a North Korean human rights activist because since I came to South Korea, I did that in middle school, I did a campaign, even in high school, university, everywhere I go, I did this kind of activity. But sometimes we feel loneliness because like people don't care about that because so busy of their life. There's no space. I couldn't find any space to talk about this issue. When I talked in front of the United States audiences, they really care about their story. Not like political issue, but they care about my friends. That motivates me, and that became a reason that I have to do this, keep doing this. It's one of the conviction that I am not lonely.
What made you really believe that they are caring?
When we stand on the stage, we see every audience, right? You can feel that they are actually here or not, listen or not, right? When I made eye contact, each of them, and their eyes was like shiny. Yeah, they were really staring at me, and their eyes was like wet, and their eyes tells me that I care you. Many South Korean citizens, friends, people, they really care about me. But the other side, people, when I talk about North Korean issue, they were like something was blocking us. I feel like some transparent war is like between us. Because when I started to talk about North Korean issue, they were like starting like, oh, this issue again. Like I've heard this so many times, that kind of talked too much about that issue, so people were tired about that issue. But in the United States, it was much different.
Do you feel that there are any stereotypes about North Koreans?
Yeah, one of the common stereotype is that when people think about North Korea, their first impression is nuclear weapon, Kim Jong-un, and famine. I say this is a stereotype because of these three issues. People are losing their chance to see real people's life in North Korea. Even you can searching on Google, if you type North Korea and then enter and see the images, like more than 80%. It's a Kim Jong-un's image and nuclear weapons image. Barely there is a people's image. So I would say that is a common stereotype when people think about North Korea. But the reality is that North Korea is not Kim Jong-un, North Korea is not nuclear, North Korea is people in North Korea. That is real North Korea. So my point is also in there so I just wanted to let people know that when they think about North Korea, I want them to think about people first.
Do you ever feel like the world doesn't care enough?
Sometimes yes, because of course many people, they really care about people in North Korea, but commonly, people just think North Korea as one of the threats. So their main issue when they talk about North Korea is that they launched 3 missiles, they experimented some nuclear tests, that is the main issue. But that is actually about your condition, right? I mean, it's threatening your life. It's about you, not about North Korean people. I want them to care more about not that one real North Korea issue. So